These are the only router bits you'll need. We'll go through every type of router bit you'll use for your projects, and there's one thing you need to know to ensure you don't buy the wrong bit. There are three main types of router bits: straight bits, edge profile bits, and pattern/flush trim bits. Let's go over each category. Starting with the straight bits, these bits are going to make a groove or hollow out the wood in some way. They come with either straight knives or spiral knives. This is a straight knife bit, and they also come in different sizes. This is a 3/4 inch diameter bit. This is a 1/2 inch diameter straight bit with straight knives as well. And the straight knife bits are fantastic. They leave a pretty good finish, and they're cheaper than the spiral knife bits. They don't leave as good a finish as the spiral cutters, but they get the job done. Then you have these spiral bits. These leave a better finish than the straight knives because of the spiral nature, and these come in upcut, downcut, or compression cutters. So the upcut spiral bits leave a better finish on the underside because they pull the sawdust up. A downcut spiral bit leaves a better finish on the top. It pulls the sawdust down. And a compression bit has both upcut and downcut cutters and leaves a solid finish on the top and underside of the workpiece. These leave a great finish but are a little more expensive. This is a 1/4 inch diameter upcut bit. Then we have the keyhole bit. I use this on the back of signs when I need to hang the sign and I don't want to add any hardware. This puts a keyhole in the back for hanging that sign. Lastly, we have a cove bit. This is great if you need this exact shape. I've used this for juice grooves in cutting boards, as well as on the underside of a drawer pull. By no means are those the only straight bits available, but that is a good handful of useful options. If you're wondering which straight bit to get first, get the one that you'll need for your next project. I got the 3/4 inch straight cut bit when I needed to make a 3/4 inch groove into some plywood to fit another piece of plywood into. The same thing with the 1/2 inch diameter straight cut bit. I got that when I needed to make some dados and rabbits in wood to fit some 1/2 inch plywood. So I suggest waiting to get the specific router bit you need for your next project. Let's move on to the edge profile bits. If you're wondering which roundover bit you should get first, I would suggest going with this 3/8 inch roundover bit. It's a great medium-sized roundover that looks good on a lot of projects. And then eventually, if you think it's a little too big, you can go with the 1/4 inch or even an 1/8 inch roundover, or you can go higher up to the 1/2 inch. For the chamfer bit, I would suggest going with a 5/8 inch 45-degree bit. This has served me well over the years, and the 45-degree profile looks nice. The two most common edge profiles you'll see are a roundover and a chamfer. It just depends on what you prefer. Both of them look really nice. It just depends on which look you're going for in your specific project. I have three sizes of roundover bits. I have this 3/8 inch here. I have this 1/4 inch and then the 1/8 inch. Just depends on the look that I'm going for. And how these work is this bearing will ride on your project, and then depending on how far this is sticking out of your router, it will round over the edge of your project. This bearing is really important because if it wasn't there, then this would just keep cutting through the wood and it would completely mess up your project. So all of these edge profile bits have a bearing here that rides along the wood while you're using it. Then we have the chamfer bit, which is just a straight line. That's the difference between the chamfer and the roundover, is this just leaves a nice straight edge profile. This leaves a curved edge profile. And this 45-degree bit has worked really well over the years. Next we have the flush trim bits, or sometimes called pattern bits. I generally use those terms interchangeably. I probably say flush trim bit more often. And they either have a bearing on the bottom of the bit, on the top of the bit, they're this way, or on both. I don't have any with both, but you'll see them with a bearing on the top and bottom. These two flush trim bits have straight knives as opposed to these two, which are spiral knives, and these are flush trim bits as well. These are actually compression bits, so they have a downcut pattern near the top of the bit and then an upcut pattern near the bottom, so it leaves a really nice finish on the top and bottom of your workpiece. So why is the bearing sometimes on the top of the router bit or on the bottom? Well, you'll notice that sometimes, depending on the task you're doing, you'll need it in one spot or the other. When you're using a template and the template's on the top, you'll need that bearing on the top of the router bit to get that template shape on your workpiece. If you're flush trimming edge banding and you want the edge band to be the exact same width as your project, then you'll probably want the bearing on the bottom of the bit. It just depends on the task that you're using the bit for. If you're just starting out and price is an issue, go with the straight knives. They work pretty well. But if you really need a nice finish on your project and you can handle a little bit higher cost, go with these spiral bits. I really like the compression bits, and it leaves a really nice finish with less tear out. And I found much less splintering using these spiral bits as opposed to the bits with straight knives. You can get the flush trim bits and the straight bits with straight knives, which are a little cheaper, or with spiral knives, which are a little more expensive but can leave a better finish. If you're just starting out, go with the straight knives, that'll work just fine. But if you find that it's not leaving a very good finish and you're getting a lot of tear out and splintering, try the spiral knives. That should leave a better finish and a lot less splintering. Another thing you have to think about is what collet size you need for your router. If you're using a trim router, you'll need a 1/4 inch shank. So the shank right here on the router bit needs to be a 1/4 inch in diameter to fit into your router collet, again, if it's a trim router. If it's a 1/2 inch shank, it will not fit into your 1/4 inch collet. If you have a larger router that takes 1/2 inch shank bits, you'll need to get bits with a 1/2 inch shank to fit into that router. All of the bits I just talked about have 1/4 inch shanks because I use them predominantly in this trim router. So when you're buying bits, make sure it says that it is either a 1/4 inch shank if that's what you need, or a 1/2 inch shank if you need a 1/2 inch shank. Here's a little better view of the router bit fitting into the collet. Again, this is a 1/4 inch router bit shank, and it's going into a 1/4 inch collet. Now that you know which bits to use for your router, click the video right here to learn which blades you need for your jigsaw. I'll see you over there.